edition of Cheers to Careers. I'm Steve Ridinghouse, the Career Outreach Coordinator at the School of Journalism and Mass Communications at KU.
Hello, we are back for episode number 79 of Cheers to Careers. I'm Steve Ridinghouse, the Career and Outreach Coordinator for the KU School of Journalism and Mass Communications. Today we are joined by J School alum Natalie Sitek. She's the Social Media Manager at Deadline Hollywood. Welcome, Natalie.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So are you living close to your dream job? I know I remember talking to you while you're at KU, and I think you always wanted to go to LA. I think your dream was to be an entertainment host. I got to think you're pretty close to doing that.
Yeah, I would say just about as close as I would hope to be. I'm getting to be on the red carpets now. Yeah, I live like 10 minutes away from Hollywood where all the premieres are. So yeah, life has been good.
So did you have those aspirations as a child? I mean, I know you're always a big dreamer. When did you hope to go to California?
Yeah, I think it was around high school where I started visiting different states just because I knew I was looking to move post-college. So I looked at New York, I had looked at LA, and a variety of states on the coast. But LA I automatically fell in love with, and I knew there was opportunities for me to do entertainment journalism there, so that definitely sparked my interest.
What do you kind of consider your first break into getting into the entertainment industry? Did one person help you along? I mean, I know you're a hard worker and part of it was hustle, but was there that one big break that really got you there?
I would say, well, with the pandemic and COVID, I redirected and transitioned into journalism more heavily. When I initially moved out to LA, I was first pursuing dance professionally. But then once the pandemic hit, I started to, look in the other direction, which I always eventually was going to transition. I just did a little bit sooner. But because of that, then I was able to apply for different opportunities. And particularly, I had worked at Hollywire, and that was a big account for social media. And I think that experience is what ultimately led me to my position that I'm at today.
And as a social media manager, I know you kind of oversee a lot of different platforms. And I was looking at some of the numbers. I think I saw 1.1 million on Twitter X, 69,000 on YouTube, over 450,000 on Instagram. I mean, how do you manage all that?
Yeah, well, day to day, posting consistently, and just, with my job, we have access that not every outlet does. So we just focus and hone in on those opportunities where we're close to talent and can kind of get the behind the scenes action.
How big is your social media team?
Right now we have 3 people. So we have my boss, Scott, who's the social media director based out of New York, myself, social media manager in LA, and then Nada, who is our social media coordinator, and she's based in London. So
Oh, wow.
everyone's on one coast and one time zone.
Now, being based out there in Hollywood, I mean, do you have to travel very far, or are you pretty much kind of a small little radius that you take care of?
Typically day to day, it is a small radius, and I am, fairly close to the events that we cover. But there are also film festivals that we attend, such as like Toronto Film Festival or Sundance Film Festival. So for those different events, then I get to travel and attend those, and then of course film social media content for Deadline for those events as well.
Was it quite an adjustment, coming from the Midwest to LA, or was that pretty smooth?
Yeah, and no, for sure. Initially, yeah, when I first moved out there, I had just had this conversation actually not too long ago with someone where it was like I was either making, like the greatest decision of my life, or like that it was just scary because it's like you didn't know, I didn't know. It was very unknown and just very different, going from living in Kansas and being with my family to like being completely by myself and alone and trying something new. But I'm really glad I did, because I feel like without taking those chances in life, then you never know what could come of it. And I never wanted to live with regret that I didn't at least try and see like how far I could go.
Do you have a pretty busy calendar? I mean, how do you kind of keep track of all the major events that are going on? in Hollywood.
Yeah, no, it it definitely is. It seems to me like there's certain months that are busier than others. So I just try and catch my breath on those months where I see that there's less events, but with entertainment, there's always something. So it's just finding that balance, the work-life balance as much as possible. But definitely if you are interested in this career, then you have to know it will require nights, it will require weekends and overtime, but if you love what you're doing, then it makes the job fun.
So how many Oscar events have you been to?
Yeah, I've been to the Oscars, Golden Globes, the Emmys, SAG Awards, pretty much any big award show that you can think of. I've been to. Just most commonly, they're in Los Angeles. There are a couple that are in New York, of course, the Tonys, and certain ones. So then, if it's in New York, likely my boss will be covering it. But yeah, it's been fun, and I'm excited that I'm in the place where a lot of this stuff happens, so I get to kind of be a fly on the wall and see what happens.
And do you get to do a lot of one-on-one celebrity interviews?
Yes, so I'm fortunate that my company has allowed me to interview as well. I started out just being behind the camera and watching, those before me as they would interview, but slowly and surely they asked me if I would be interested. And of course, any opportunity to expand upon my skill set, I'm always interested in. So, yes, now I've gotten to interview a handful of people, to name a few: James Cameron, Billie Eilish, Pedro Pascal. There's like a whole list. I kind of have like a collection now of all the events that I've covered, but it's fun and I enjoy that experience. And yeah, anything I can do to continue to expand my skill set, I'm always looking forward to trying.
And I think you are a Taylor Swift fan, right?
Yes,
Have you
yes,
got have
big
you got to meet
Swiftie.
Taylor Swift yet?
So I was in the room with her. I haven't officially shook her hand and said hello, but for the Taylor Swift premiere of her Eras Tour movie, that was in Beverly Hills, California. So I got to attend, and I was inside the theater where she actually made a speech beforehand, and then she sat down and watched the film. So she was just probably about 4 rows in front of me. So it was kind of a cool experience for me to get to watch her as she's watching the film and being amongst all these people. So that was really special.
And Natalie, when you're interviewing these celebrities, is there still a sense of awe, or are you kind of over that by now, or?
There's definitely still a sense of awe and there's still a sense of nervousness every time before, I go in for one because likely even if I've met some of the people before, there's other people that I haven't met. So there's always that like, little pinch me moment of, oh my gosh, we're talking to Selena Gomez tonight or, whoever it may be that I haven't met yet. So it's very exciting.
And with social media, did you feel like when you took that job that you were very well prepared, or is that kind of one of those you learn as you go type things? Because I know I've done social media professionally for quite a while, and it seems like you're always learning new ideas.
For sure. It's definitely something that I feel like because of my experience at Hollywire, I got to dip my feet in it. But also I've been learning as I go and it's ever changing. So we always have to be flexible and willing to adapt to whatever is, trending or working. And I'm always looking at my phone, on my downtime as well, just to see what other brands are doing and what's working and what's not. So you definitely have to be like very involved in social media to make sure you're doing the best things, best practices that you can.
And did you do much with social media? I mean, during your time at KU with
Um, I feel like when I was going to KU, it was a little bit before it had become as big as it is now. It was definitely there, and I definitely recall talking about it in some classes at KU. But I think we just like at that point we didn't know like how big it was going to become. And I think again because of like the pandemic and everybody getting TikTok and whatnot and things becoming popular, even more popular on social media than now advertisers and brands and different things, want to be promoted as well on social media. So yeah, it's definitely, there was a bit of like a learning curve, I would say, but yeah, I feel like, as long as you're with keeping up with it, then you can definitely learn and adjust on the go.
And I do know during your time at KU, I believe you helped start E News. What are your memories about that? I think you and Jackson Kurtz kind of got that going.
Yeah, I have great memories. Yeah, really fond memories of that time. And I thought that was so exciting that at KU, we were given the opportunity to try and come up with different things that, had to do with our interests. And yeah, KUE News, that was super exciting for me to kind of, again, dip my feet into the entertainment journalism world. And I've always been fascinated with that type of news. I grew up watching like Entertainment Tonight and Nancy O'Dell and, Kevin Frazier and the people on there. So yeah, it's really definitely been a pinch me moment to think that now, oftentimes I get to be on the carpet with those people that I was looking up to and hoping to do something similar to one day. So I'm just grateful that Jackson and the other people on KUE News had those interests too, and we all got to kind of try that together and experience what that might be like.
Do you get to stay in touch with some of your KU classmates?
Yeah, no, I definitely do. I for sure have. I've been following Jackson, seeing what he's up to at KMBC, and that was one of my internships, in fact, KMBC. So it's really cool to see him, continue to thrive and anchor on there. And yeah, I definitely follow still on social media, my KU alum, and I'm glad that I had the opportunity to work alongside them.
You talk about the internship. I remember seeing your resume during your early years. You were always busy. I mean, I think you did a lot with like Her Campus, KUJH, I think even Channel 6 in Lawrence.
Yes.
I mean, how did you find time to be that involved?
Yeah. Well, I feel like that skill has definitely helped me now because it's all about that work-life balance again. And, at that time it was the school life balance and, adding in those internships. I think I've just always been very much like a go-getter. I, am not a procrastinator, not one to like sit back. I'm one to kind of like push forward and do as much as I can, not to wear myself out, but just to see like how far I can go. So I'm glad, yeah, that I had those opportunities, and I'm really grateful that I was able to kind of balance that all. And I still felt like I had the college experience. So I don't feel like that got cut short, but I do feel like I wanted to be involved with as much as I could. That way I could gain as much experience as possible before, moving out here and trying it for real.
And you were kind of on the fast track to get done at KU, right?
Yes. Yeah.
How long did it
I
take you
think
to
I took
finish?
as many hours as like possible each semester in
Because did you
summer
come into KU
classes.
with quite a bit of class credit, or did you just kind of load up
Yes.
for hours each semester?
Yeah, no, I believe it was like 47 college credit hours I came in with
Uh,
from my high school, Bishop Miege. So I had already kind of come in with quite a bit, and then I just kept up again with like the maximum of whatever hours I could take, and was taking summer classes and night classes at JCCC, whatever I could to kind of get done early because initially I was pursuing dance. So I just wanted to move out to LA as soon as possible, but of course, I needed to get my college degree, and I respect that my parents wanted me to get one, and I'm very glad that I did. So, it's done nothing but help me.
What's some of the like technical skills you have? Like, is there any sort of software that you really have to be super efficient at?
Um, I would say for my job in social media, like video editing is really helpful. We do have a video team as well at Deadline. But for like Instagram Reels or TikTok, or, if I'm on the red carpet and I'm, let's just say, taking B-roll of whatever celebrities are showing up to that event, then for me to be able to edit that on my phone, on your computer is great too, but if you're able to do it on your phone, it's even better and faster and quicker. So a lot of what I have to do involves, yeah, video editing or like writing captions. I don't have to be the best writer in the room, but enough to, intrigue people to click on the video and such. So I would say definitely those skills are important.
And what advice would you have for, say, a KU journalism student that wants to do what you want to do? I mean, what kind of steps should they take now, so they're
Mhm.
ready once they graduate?
For sure. Well, I would definitely start following whatever accounts, they're interested in and start, even if it's sports, then follow ESPN and see what those people are doing. For entertainment, yeah, follow, your favorite brands and people, watch what they're doing. And then you can always like practice even without having said job. I think practice makes perfect, right? So even for myself, as I continue to practice, I feel like I get better at things. So I would just watch, keep up with the news, especially in entertainment, and then just try some different things on your own because, you never know without trying. So uh, that would be my advice.
And before we move on to Fast Five, do you have quite a few family and friends that like to visit where you're located?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I for sure my family will come out and visit and some of my friends, and I think it's exciting for them to see, what I've been able to like accomplish on my own. And kind of along with the advice thing too, I would just say like go for it. Whatever your dreams are, they're never too big. As I mentioned before, I feel like I've always like had big dreams, but you do feel a little scared like, oh, I don't know if I can actually make this a reality. But you never know if you don't try, and I definitely think that people should try because, you can always, you can always revert back to other things if something doesn't end up working out, but there's no harm in trying. So yeah, I'm really excited with where I'm at, and I think my family and friends are pleased, and they always ask me about like, how is this person in person or whatnot. So that's kind of fun to have a little like behind the scenes on that front.
Are you able to give us a little bit of a scoop? What's the next big story you're working on? Or can you say?
Um, okay, so the next big thing I have the Wizards Beyond Waverly Place carpet, which is next Monday. And then after that, Wicked will be in Los Angeles. So they're gonna have a big press junket for that I'll cover for social media, as well as their premiere in LA. So those are like the next things on the calendar, I would say. And then this past weekend we had the Academy Museum Gala, which was a big event with a lot of celebrities. So that was a busy night, but fun
Okay.
to be there.
Okay. So now it's time for Fast Five.
Mhm.
So as a social media manager, what's your go-to social media platform? If you had one social media platform to use, which one would that be?
I like Instagram the best.
So how many red carpets do you think you've been on?
Oh my gosh. I have like a thing right over there. It's been like hundreds at this
100?
point. Over, I would say. Yeah.
Kind of follow up to that. So what's the best kind of attire to wear on a red carpet?
Oh yeah, you definitely dressed up, but not too dressed up unless it's like the Oscars or something like that where there's a dress code. But I would say you can't go wrong with like a nice dress or like slacks and a nice top.
Okay. I know you're a dancer. So what's your go-to dance move or dance style?
Um, that's a hard one. I was trained the most in ballet, so I would probably say that comes the easiest to me.
Okay. What was the one KU journalism class you could not or would not miss? Pretty much
Mm,
what was your favorite class, I guess.
oh man. Honestly, I remember I'm forgetting the name of it, but it was something, was it 101? Something with Cal. But I remember that taking that my freshman year, and that was where he first like we talked about green screens, we talked about being on camera, and that's where I first got involved with like Media Crossroads. So that one I think I remember the most and was the most probably excited about.
So you had perfect attendance for that class.
I think I probably I think so. You might have to ask Cal, but I think so.
And what has been your favorite celebrity interview so far?
Hmm. Ooh. That's a tough one. What's coming to mind is James Cameron, just because I thought that was definitely a pinch me moment. And I was nervous we weren't going to get him actually for that carpet. But we ended up getting him, and just to talk to him, he's such a legend. So I thought that was really cool.
Awesome. Well, hey, Natalie, I appreciate your time. I know you've had a busy schedule. I always like to close with a little cheers. I've got my Cheers to Careers mug, so I know you've got a mug there with you, I think. Uh,
Yes.
Natalie, keep up the great work. I know you're chasing your dreams, and yeah, this is fun. Cheers,
Yes.
cheers,
Yes.
Natalie.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate you having me. Best of luck to everyone at KU and wishing you the same.
All right, thanks.